Hello, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Adnan Iqbal. I welcome all of you. And in this video, we are going to talk about the anatomy of the blood vessel. So, the blood vessels are the intricate networks of the hollow tubes that transport the blood throughout the entire body. Intricates mean the detail and in the complicated way. So, the blood vessels which are present in the body, they are present in the body in a very detailed and in the complicated way. So we have two sets of the blood vessels which are present in our body, and one set is known as the arterial system, and the other set of the blood vessels are known as the venous system. So in the arterial system, we have the arteries, the arterioles, and the capillaries, and all these blood vessels in the arterial system, these blood vessels carry the blood away from the heart. So the arteries, the arterioles, and the capillaries, these are the blood vessels which take the blood away from the heart. And in the venous system, we have the venules and the veins, and these blood vessels in the venous system, they take the blood towards the heart. Right, if you talk about the basic structure of the blood vessels, all the blood vessels which are present in our body, they have three layers or the coats. Also, we can say these layers as a tunics. So all the blood vessels which are present in our body, either they are arteries or the veins, they have three layers or tunics, except the capillaries. The capillaries do not have three layers, and the capillaries have only two layers. And the capillaries are very small and they are very thin as compared to the other blood vessels. And you can understand the reason why is it so, because at the site of the capillaries there is an exchange of the gas and nutrition. So the nature has make the capillaries very thin. So you can see this is the artery and this is the vein, and you can see the different layers of the arteries, and the outermost layer of the both the arteries and the vein, that layer, the outermost layer is known as the tunica adventitia, and the middle layer of both the arteries and the vein, that middle layer is known as the tunica media, and the innermost layer of both the arteries and the vein, that one is known as the tunica intima. Intima means that innermost layer is with the intimate relation with the blood. So the tunica intima is in close relation with the blood. So therefore that layer is known as the tunica intima, and tunica media is the middle layer. M is for middle. So therefore tunica media is the middle layer, and tunica adventitia is the outermost layer of both the arteries and vein. So these three layers are further divided into different layers. So as you can see, this one is the innermost and that one is the outermost layer of the blood vessel. And if you look at the tunica intima, which is the innermost layer of the blood vessel, which is even further divided into different layers. And so this is the innermost layer, and in the tunica intima we have the endothelium, and below the endothelium we have a layer, a very small layer, you can see in the blue color. That layer is known as the basal lamina, and below the basal lamina we have a connective tissue, that yellow color, in the yellow color, that one is known as the subendothelial connective tissue. And below the subendothelial connective tissue, that red line layer, that is known as the internal elastic lamina. So in the tunica intima, we have endothelium, we have the basal lamina, we have the subendothelial connective tissue, and we have the internal elastic lamina. So all these four, 1 2 3 4, these all four layers, they constitute the tunica intima. As these are the most close relationship with the blood, so therefore they are also known as the intima and tunica intima. Then we have a layer which is the middle layer of the blood vessel, which is known as the tunica media, and that portion of the blood vessel, they made the tunica media of the blood vessel. And the tunica media, we have the smooth muscles and the elastic fibers. So you can see these are the smooth muscles and these the purple one are the elastic fibers. They make the tunica media. And below the in the tunica media we also have external elastic lamina, and this purple line is the external elastic lamina. So that red line is the internal elastic lamina and that purple one is the external elastic lamina. And in the arteries, this tunica media is thicker as compared to the veins of the similar size, and similarly in the arteries, the tunica media has more smooth muscles and elastic fibers than in the veins of the same size. And the outermost layer of the blood vessel, which is known as the tunica adventitia, so this area is the tunica adventitia of the blood vessel, and the tunica adventitia has the connective tissue, and it has mainly the collagen fibers and few elastic fibers. And the job of the tunica adventitia is to prevent the excessive stretching in the blood vessel, as there is blood in the blood vessel. So if there is a fluctuation in the volume of the blood in the blood vessel, so that fluctuation is managed in the blood vessel by these tunica adventitia. So what we have talked so far, that we have primarily three layers in the blood vessel. The innermost layer is the tunica intima, and the middle one is the tunica media, and the outermost is the tunica adventitia. And these individual primary layers are being further divided into the different layers. And the tunica intima, we have the endothelium, basal lamina, subendothelial connective tissue, and internal elastic lamina. And in the tunica media we have primarily the smooth muscles and the elastic fibers. And the tunica adventitia, we have primarily the connective tissues which are made up of the collagen fibers and few elastic fibers. Now let's talk about the nourishment of the blood vessels. As you know that the job of the blood vessel is to carry and transport the blood throughout the body. And uh, definitely these blood vessels are doing the function of providing the nutrition and oxygen by the blood to all of the body. But definitely these blood vessels also need the oxygen and nutrition. So how these blood vessels itself get the oxygen and the nutrition, let's understand how they are getting it. And so all the layers of the blood vessels, they receive the oxygen and nutrition directly from the blood, which is present in their lumen, in the case of the small and the medium sized vessels. But in the case of the large blood vessels, the diffusion of the oxygen and the nutrition from the blood is possible only up to the level of the tunica intima and the inner part of the tunica media only, whereas the outer part of the tunica media adventitia, they receive the nutrition from the arterioles and the capillaries and the venules which are present in the blood vessel itself. And these blood vessels which are giving the blood the nutrition and the oxygen to the large blood vessels, that blood vessels are known as the vasa vasorum, also known as which means that the vessels of the blood vessels. Right, so what we have discussed about the different layers of the blood vessels. And now we are discussing about the types of the blood vessels. And in the type of the blood vessels, first we are discussing about the arteries. And you know the arteries are those blood vessels present in the body which carry the blood away from the heart. So this is the blood vessel, this is the artery which is carrying the blood away from the heart. And the arteries divide like the branch of the tree. So this is the artery which is dividing like the branch of the tree, and as the artery divide it becomes smaller in size. And the blood flow in the large artery is more as compared to the blood flow in the small arteries. And you know, because the large arteries is more in size, so there will be more blood flow in the large artery. And in the arterial system we have different type of the arteries. And we have the elastic arteries, we have the muscular arteries, we have the arterioles, and we have the capillaries. So these are the different types of the arteries in our body, and the elastic arteries are called as elastic arteries because in the elastic arteries, there in the tunica media of the elastic arteries we have more elastic fibers than the smooth muscle. So this is the reason these type of arteries are known as the elastic arteries. All the large arteries in our body, they are the elastic arteries. They are elastic in nature, whereas the medium sized arteries in our body, that type of arteries are known as the muscular arteries. And why they are called as the muscular arteries? Because the muscular arteries tunica media contain more smooth muscles than the elastic fibers. So this is the reason these type of arteries are known as the muscular arteries. Arterioles are very small blood vessels in our body, and they only have 1 to 2 layers of the smooth muscles in its tunica media. And the smallest one is the capillaries, and the capillary is the site where the gaseous and the nutrition exchange take place between the blood and the tissue. And the capillaries have only 2 layers. One is the tunica intima and its underlying basal lamina. The capillaries do not contain the tunica media or the tunica adventitia, so it is a very thin blood vessel. So the elastic arteries are the large arteries, and they conduct the blood from the heart to the smaller arteries. So therefore elastic arteries are also known as the conducting arteries, and the thickness of the elastic arteries is 1/10 to the diameter of its lumen. In the elastic arteries we have the aorta and its branches. So this is the aorta, and these all are the branches of the aorta, and this is the ascending aorta. These are the branches of the aorta: the right common carotid artery, the left common carotid artery. I'm not going to detail of these anatomy of the blood vessels, but these are the aorta and its branches, and these are the elastic arteries. And this is the common iliac artery, and this is the abdominal aorta. So the aorta and its branches are taking the blood away from the heart and to the systemic circulation. And these are the large, you can see these are the very large arteries. So these are the elastic arteries, and these arteries are elastic in nature. They have more elastic fibers in its tunica media, and the elastic arteries are elastic in nature, and these type of arteries are present very near to the heart. And the nature has provided the elastic nature to these arteries. Why? Because they have to prevent the fluctuation of the blood pressure in these blood vessels. So therefore they are elastic in nature. So now let's talk about the muscular arteries. Muscular arteries are the medium-sized arteries, and the blood from the elastic arteries then comes into the muscular arteries, and these muscular arteries then distribute the blood to the tissues via the arterioles and the capillaries. So this is the reason that the muscular arteries are known as the distributing arteries, because they distribute the blood to the tissues. And the muscular arteries maintain the steady blood flow and the blood pressure, because the muscular arteries are muscular in nature, so therefore they can maintain the blood flow and the blood pressure. The wall thickness of the muscular arteries is 1/4 of the luminal diameter, whereas we have discussed in the elastic arteries that the wall lumen of the elastic artery is 1/10 of the lumen. So therefore the muscular arteries are also known as the medium-sized arteries because they have less wall thickness as compared to the elastic arteries. And in the muscular arteries we have the branches of the external carotid artery, we have the radial and ulnar arteries, and the femoral artery is also the muscular artery, and the popliteal is a type of the muscular arteries. And beside these arteries there are also many other arteries which are present in the body are the muscular arteries. So the large arteries are the elastic arteries, the medium-sized arteries are the muscular arteries, and the small arteries are the arterioles. And the small arteries with the diameter less than 100 micrometer are known as arterioles. And in the arterioles we also have the large arterioles and the terminal arterioles. And the size of between the 50 to 100 micrometer are classified as a large arteriole, and the size less than 50 micrometer are being described as a terminal arterioles. And the arterioles arise from the muscular arteries, and they deliver the blood to the capillaries. And the wall of the arterioles is relatively thicker than the lumen, and the arterioles are specialized for controlling the blood flow, and they regulate the peripheral vascular resistance, because when the arterioles constrict, the lumen of the arterioles reduced, and so there will be the more resistance of the blood inflowing in these arterioles, and the same amount of the blood will then also increase the blood pressure in these arterioles. So therefore the arterioles are they regulate the peripheral vascular resistance, and they are also the major determinant of the systemic blood pressure. Capillaries are the smaller blood vessels in the body, and their average diameter is approximately about 8 micrometer, and they are very thin walled, contains only two layers, and they form the plexuses, and which spread throughout the tissue and continues with the smallest arteriole at the one end and the smallest venule at the other end. So between the arterioles and the venules, the capillaries are present, and the capillaries are the site for the exchange of the gases, nutrition, and the metabolic waste. So the exchange of the gases, nutrition, and the metabolic waste from the blood and the tissues is done by these capillaries. And the capillaries are abundant in the tissues which are having the high metabolic rate, and the organs like the kidney, the liver, and the cardiac muscles have high metabolic rate, so therefore they are more abundant in these organs. So now let's talk about the different types of the capillaries. We have different types of the capillaries. So for example, this is the arteriole, and these are the network of the capillaries, also known as the capillary bed, and this is the venule. So the oxygenated rich blood comes into the arterioles from the heart, and then it goes into the capillaries, and this is the oxygenated rich blood as it is shown by the red color. So the oxygen from the blood will be dropped off into the tissues, and the blood then pick up the metabolic waste and the carbon dioxide from the tissues into the blood, and then it becomes deoxygenated, and it is shown by the blue color, and then this deoxygenated blood then goes into the venules and then into the veins back into the heart. So these are the network of the capillaries, and these are also known as the capillary bed. So in this capillary bed, not all the blood vessels which are present in the capillary bed are the true capillaries. In these network of capillaries, we have different type of the capillaries, and there are some blood vessels in this capillary bed which are not the true capillaries, and these capillaries are known as the meta-arterioles. And the reason we call these blood vessels the meta-arterioles, because these blood vessels have the structure which is similar to the structure of the arterioles. So therefore these blood vessels in the capillaries are known as the meta-arterioles, and rest of the blood vessels in the capillary bed, they all are the true capillaries. Now this is the capillary bed or the network of the capillaries, and in this capillary bed we have two different types of the blood vessels. One set of the blood vessels in the capillary bed are known as the true capillaries, and the other set of blood vessels are known as the meta-arterioles. Now the reason why we do not call these blood vessels which are present in the capillary bed as the capillaries, because these blood vessels resemble the structure of the arterioles. So therefore these blood vessels are known as the meta-arterioles. So the meta-arterioles are the blood vessels which are present in the capillary bed, and why we do not called as the capillaries, because their structure resemble to the structure of the arterioles. Now the gas exchange take place only in the true capillaries, and the gaseous exchange doesn't take place in the meta-arterioles which are present in the capillary bed, because the meta-arterioles are thicker as compared to the true capillaries, so therefore the gaseous exchange doesn't take place in the meta-arterioles. Now the true capillaries are then further divided into different types, and the true capillaries we have the continuous capillaries, fenestrated capillaries, and sinusoidal capillaries. We are not going into the detail of these types of the true capillaries. So this is the difference between the meta-arterioles and the true capillaries. Both of these blood vessels, they are present in the capillary bed, but the difference is between their structure. अच्छा, कुछ पॉइंट्स कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट्स को डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. माइक्रो सर्कुलेशन ऐसी सर्कुलेशन जो कि आर्टीरियोल्स, कैपिलरीज और वेन्यूल्स, इनके ब्लड वेसल्स में अगर सर्कुलेशन है आर्टीरियोल से लेके वेन्यूल्स तक, ऐसी सर्कुलेशन को आप माइक्रो सर्कुलेशन कहते हैं. अब ट्रू कैपिलरीज जो कैपिलरी बेड में थे, इनका तो पर्पस आपको बता दिया है कि इनका पर्पस गैस एक्सचेंज करवाना है टिश्यूज और ब्लड में. लेकिन ये जो मेटा आर्टेरियोल्स आपके कैपिलरी बेड में मौजूद हैं, इनका पर्पस क्या है कैपिलरी बेड में होने का, क्योंकि ये तो गैस एक्सचेंज नहीं करवा रहे. तो मेटा आर्टेरियोल्स फिर कैपिलरी बेड में क्या कर रही हैं? तो इसका आंसर ये है कि हर कैपिलरी के स्टार्ट में कुछ स्फिंक्टर्स मौजूद होते हैं जो कि ब्लड फ्लो को कंट्रोल करते हैं कैपिलरीज में जाने के लिए, ट्रू कैपिलरीज में जाने के लिए. तो क्या होता है कि अगर ये स्फिंक्टर आपके कॉन्स्ट्रिक्ट करें या अगर स्फिंक्टर्स आपके क्लोज हों, तो जो ब्लड फ्लो है जो आपका आर्टीरियोल से आ रहा होता है वो इन ट्रू कैपिलरीज में नहीं जाता, और ट्रू कैपिलरीज में जब नहीं जाता तो गैस एक्सचेंज और मेटाबॉलिक वेस्ट एक्सचेंज भी नहीं हो पाता. तो जो ब्लड आपका नहीं आता इन ट्रू कैपिलरीज में, तो वो आर्टीरियोल से मेटा आर्टीरियोल्स में जाके थोरोफेयर चैनल जो है, मेटा आर्टीरियोल्स का जो एंड होता है उसको आप थोरोफेयर चैनल कहते हैं. तो ये थोरोफेयर चैनल से होता हुआ ट्रू कैपिलरीज को बाईपास करते हुए वेन्यूल से होता हुआ हार्ट में चले जाता है, यानी कि ऐसे ब्लड में गैस एक्सचेंज टेक प्लेस नहीं हो पाती. तो इसका पर्पस यह है कि आपकी बॉडी में आपके टिश्यूज को हर टाइम के ऊपर गैशियस एक्सचेंज टेक प्लेस नहीं करवाना होता. इट ऑल डिपेंड्स अपॉन द ऑर्गन डिमांड. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हैं तो एक्सरसाइज के दौरान आपके जो स्केलेटन मसल्स हैं या कुछ ऑर्गन्स हैं, अगर उनको ऑक्सीजन की अगर जब ज़्यादा डिमांड होगी तो उसी टाइम के ऊपर ब्लड फ्लो आपके ये जो आपके स्फिंक्टर्स हैं ये ओपन हो जाएंगे, और इन स्फिंक्टर्स के ओपन हो जाने से आपका ब्लड फ्लो इन ट्रू कैपिलरीज में ज़्यादा होगा, जिसकी वजह से आपकी जो ऑर्गन की डिमांड है ज़्यादा ऑक्सीजन की, वो ब्लड आपका ऑक्सीजन उसको ज़्यादा देगा. लेकिन अगर आप रिलैक्स हैं, आप कोई एक्सरसाइज नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो आपको इतनी ऑक्सीजन की ज़रूरत नहीं है आपकी बॉडी ऑर्गन्स को या आपके मसल्स को. तो आपका ब्लड जो है वो इन ट्रू कैपिलरीज में नहीं जाएगा, और ये स्फिंक्टर्स जो हैं वो आपके क्लोज हो जाएंगे, और आपका ब्लड जो है वो आपका मेटा आर्टीरियोल से होता हुआ, क्योंकि मेटा आर्टीरियोल्स में गैस एक्सचेंज नहीं होती, तो मेटा आर्टीरियोल से होता हुआ थोरोफेयर चैनल से होता हुआ वेन्यूल्स के जरिए हार्ट में वापस चले जाएगा. तो आपका ब्लड की गैस एक्सचेंज टेक प्लेस नहीं होगी, क्योंकि आपकी ऑर्गन की डिमांड नहीं है ऑक्सीजन की इस टाइम ज़्यादा. So far we have discussed about the arteries. Now let's talk about the veins. And the veins are the thin walled as compared to the arteries, and they carry the blood from the capillaries to the heart. And the large veins are usually formed by the smaller veins, and the veins are often provided with the valves, and the valves prevent the reflux of the blood, and they maintain the unidirectional flow of the blood. We have three types of vein as of the arteries, and we have the large size veins, medium size veins, and the small vein, which are known as the venules. Also, we have the same three-layer organization as arterial system, the tunica intima, tunica media, and the tunica adventitia. These three layers are also present in the veins. So for example, if this is the vein and these are the valves which are present in the vein, and the job of the valve is to prevent the backflow of the blood and maintain the unidirectional flow of the blood to the heart. And the valves in the vein are usually present in those veins which are present inferior to the heart. So in these veins, the blood has to travel up or against the gravitational force to reach to the heart. So for example, in the case of the backflow of the blood, so in this case the valves will close down, so that prevent the backflow of the blood into these veins. So this is the reason it maintains the unidirectional flow of the blood. The valves are usually absent in the very small veins and the veins which are present within the cranial cavity and in the vertebral canal, and in the vena cavas like the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. But in the inferior vena cava we have the valve which are known as the Thiebassian valve. Another term which is known as arterial anastomosis. Now, what do you mean by arterial anastomosis? So, many regions of the body receive the blood supply from two or more arteries. So, the point where these arteries merge, they are called as the arterial anastomosis. So, arterial anastomosis allows the tissues to receive blood even after one of the arteries supplying the blood has been blocked. So, to sum up the arteries and the veins, what we have discussed so far. For example, this is the large artery, and you know that the large arteries are also known as elastic arteries. Then we have the medium sized arteries, which are known as the muscular arteries, and then they are divided into the smaller arterioles. These are the smaller arterioles, then into the capillaries, then the small capillaries join to form the small veins, which are known as the venules. Then they become the medium size veins, and then they become the large vein. So this is what we have discussed in the arteries and the veins. Also the different layers of the blood vessels. The outer layer, which is known as the tunica adventitia, the middle layer the tunica media, and the innermost layer tunica intima, and the endothelium, which is the part of the tunica intima and which is in the direct contact with the blood, which is present in its lumen.